DA is wrapping up an investigation into Trump's involvement in a hush money payment. Aaron Katersky is at the courthouse in downtown Manhattan. Good morning, Aaron.
Michael, good morning to you. This was the day former President Trump said he would be arrested. And while that seems unlikely to happen, the possibility of a looming indictment has this city on alert for protest. Overnight, former President Trump releasing an insult-filled statement on social media about prosecutors and Stormy Daniels after earlier making an unverified claim he would be arrested today, stemming from an investigation into a hush payment to the porn actress weeks before the 2016 election. It's not the payment, but the way Trump accounted for it that could make him the first former president to face criminal charges. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office has been investigating this for years, but in recent weeks called in former aides Kellyanne Conway and Hope Hicks, along with Michael Cohen, once Trump's fixer, who has already served federal prison time for writing the check, he says, at Trump's direction.
The facts are the facts. The truth is the truth. And the truth will always rise.
Robert Costello, a lawyer who testified for Trump and said he once advised Cohen, called him unreliable.
And I've listened to Michael Cohen stand in front of the courthouse and say things that are directly contrary to what he said to us.
Republicans, including one of Trump's potential 2024 rivals, said charging him now smells of politics and took a shot at the district attorney.
They weaponize their office to impose a political agenda on society.
On social media, Trump called for protest, and that has drawn the attention of law enforcement, seen here dropping metal barriers at court.
NYPD is doing their normal role of making sure that there's no inappropriate actions in the city.
Intelligence bulletins obtained by ABC News warn of a significant increase in threats and rhetoric.
I was still in the room. I just had to take my shoes off, but it was really hard to take my shoes off while also having the jacket on because the jacket is so fucking ill-fitting, unfortunately. But, I was just trying to get more comfortable. I'm still in the room. I'm watching all of it. But anyway, listen, there's a lot of things that these people have said thus far that I have to address here, okay? Now, Trump did, violate the law. Now, it might come across as like an insignificant portion of the law, and that's, I guess, up for debate. Okay? But, didn't motherfucking Michael Cohen go to prison for this? For his involvement in the matter? Why the fuck would Trump not also be hit with a RICO charge if Michael Cohen, who was operating for him, went to prison? That's oh, your hitman went to jail, but you as the leader of the entire thing, you should deserve no scrutiny whatsoever. It's the same fucking thing. I didn't hear these motherfuckers crying when Michael Cohen went to prison. Friend of the show, Michael Cohen, my boy. So I don't really understand. So the irony is people who are making it political are actually those on the right. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is they're literally openly stating no, you should, if you're Donald Trump, or if you are someone who is, a Republican at any given point in your life, you should be able to break the rules, violate the law, and do whatever the fuck you want and be able to get away with it. And it's actually political if you call us out. So what's up? What the fuck is up about that? What's going on there? No one told me Michael Cohen's... I've been on this podcast and I didn't know that was his fucking banger-ass opening intro music. God damn, he's popping. All right, I got to pee.
Some of Trump's most ardent supporters are still willing to fight on his behalf. And we're told there are no specific threats, but the NYPD and the U.S. Secret Service have started talking about security in the event Trump is indicted. Robin?
Aaron, our thanks to you. We're going to bring in our chief legal analyst, Dan Abramson. A lot to unpack here. Yep. So now we have a witness that Trump wants to testify before the grand jury, Bob Costello.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
So he was there, and he made a statement after he testifies. And the most important thing that he says, basically, is Michael Cohen did this on his own. That's what Michael Cohen told me, in effect, is what he's saying. That this was all his idea. Okay, fair enough. There's no way, though, that you can bring this case without corroborating evidence of what Michael Cohen is saying. Everyone recognizes Michael Cohen is going to be somewhere between a difficult and a terrible witness because he's pled guilty, including to making false statements. So he's going to be a problematic witness. There's no way you don't have other evidence to back up what Michael Cohen is saying.
You also have Trump's current attorney and is also his former attorney, Rudy Giuliani, admitting that Trump knew about the payment. So what's the defense here?
The defense is that this was a nuisance lawsuit.
Wake up.
He paid the money.
Halt. You violated the law. Pay the fine or I will have to take matters into my own hands. That's what I would say to Donald Trump if I saw him right now. I'd say, sir, you have violated the law one too many times. This guy said whack fit. I'm sorry. Ethan Klein's thoughts would never say that my fit is whack. Okay? Ethan Klein would never in a million years say this fit is whack. And also, objectively good fit. Like, let's be real. Maybe you didn't see it when I originally posted it on my Instagram. So I'll just give you an opportunity to maybe recollect your thoughts here, okay? And even possibly give it a like while you're there on my Instagram, looking at the fit and seeing objectively that it is a good fit. Here it is, pretty classic, pretty clean. Maybe you can talk about the sizing of it a little bit. Obviously, the sizing of it is not great. It's a little short on the arms, and it's a little tight on the arms as well. I do have some big ass biceps, but here, go ahead, give it a little like, give it a little comment in there. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's decent, but nothing special. I know. I tried to spruce it up a little bit with a bolo tie. Tried to spruce it up a little bit with, he said, all fat, no muscle. That's crazy. I think now we've just, are you trying to edge me into showing you some videos of me deadlifting or something? Is that what's going on? Because I'm aware of your games, okay? I'm aware of the games you play. How are you supposed to remove the tag on the sleeve? The tag is supposed to go. Dude, I know. I don't know how to do it. I don't want to fuck it up. Are you negging me a little bit? Is that what's going on? Huh? I see what you're doing. I'm aware of your cunning ways, chatter. 40-month subscriber. Oh, you're so fat. It'd be a real shame if you showed us how little muscles you have. So fat. You know? Yeah, I mean, I'll take the bait. Here's my fat ass repping 405 for 8 with no belt.
Just rip your weight. I know it's an interesting topic.
What's that about? What's going on there, chat?
After you rip this set.
Chatter, you see that?
All right, strong heels. Yeah. There's my trust fall. Flying. 5. Come on. 6. Jesus Christ. 7. Come on, baby. Come on. Pull. Yeah.
The Streamer Award fit was good, but this suit is better. Compensate much? I don't know if you know this, but like we're having fun, my friend. Like we're just fucking around. Like it was a joke. Like I was just playing off of what chat was saying. This is like when two people are having fun and then the third person comes in and is like, fucking got him. Oh, you were just kidding too? Okay, well, you know. I'll admit it's a pretty good ass fit, but if you consider being more consistent with your vows, you're creating a system for providing suits for all your fans. True. Yeah, I think they liked the form so much they bookmarked it, it seems. Only 26 bookmarks, though. Not a lot of bookmarks. Yeah, I am wearing my Gators Daily shirt. Yes. Use a real bar, lol. Okay, certified bag chaser. How about you chase your own fucking gains instead of criticizing me? Sakura Gore! Thank you for the 50 gifted. God damn, you're crazy. You're crazy with it. 50 people. Holy shit. Yeah, but let's get back to it. Sorry. Honest question, do you ever think about getting some ad money on Insta? 50K likes in an hour, some serious numbers? I don't even want to do that.
But he didn't know exactly how it was going to be classified. He didn't know it was going to be classified, they're going to say, as legal expenses, which is the misclassification, right? Is this idea that this was hush money, but instead they called it legal expenses. And they're going to say he didn't know that it was being registered as legal expenses. This was nothing to him. It was just in passing. He wasn't paying attention, et cetera. The prosecution, of course, will come forward and say, we have evidence that Donald Trump knew exactly what this was about.
And we'll see. We don't know if an indictment is going to happen or not. But you say of all the cases that Trump is facing, this one would not be in the top of your list.
This is the worst one. Of all the investigations out there, you've got Atlanta, which is about overturning the election there. You've got the federal one, which is about the mishandling of the classified documents and obstruction of justice. There's a lot of evidence in those cases. This is about something that happened 7 years ago. This is about something where the Fed's already investigated. This is definitely the weakest of the group.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So here's the reality of the situation. Okay. As far as things that hit Trump on, paying hush money and misclassifying it, paying hush money to a porn star after an act of sex work, and then misclassifying it as though it's actually, something different. Yeah, it's the lowest rung. I mean, it's one where he is like objectively in the wrong, and people have gone to jail for it, right? For sure. The reason that this happened so long ago is because Trump's attorney general said that you can't prosecute a sitting president. Yeah, a sitting president. Yes. So there is that reality as well, okay? There is obviously that reality as well. They blocked and pushed for as long as they did, successfully. Okay? But it is kind of like putting Capone down for tax fraud, right? Nabbing him for tax fraud. That's kind of where that it's the similar mentality, basically. Okay? However, there is a very real RICO case that's taking place in Georgia at the moment, and that is around the phone call that Donald Trump had, the very perfect phone call that he had, where he was trying to desperately. I said that earlier, stole my take, lol. Yeah, exactly. I hadn't thought these things before. I'm stealing it from you. But he was trying to desperately plead I believe, Secretary of State at the time to find some votes. And the reality is he has done this a lot. There's a lot to hit Trump on. And in some respects, sorry, I just saw something. Things are going to be really fucking annoying for the rest of the day. But anyway, sorry. In some respects, the main point of defense from all of the Trump supporters Wait, hold on. Okay. I thought my internet dropped. No. Donald Trump's defenders and people that worked under him and under his administration routinely blocked and pushed any kind of fucking criminal investigation being conducted on him, even though he was violating the law all the time. They said he's the president. You can't do anything about it. This is political. Now that he's no longer the president, you could technically prosecute him for shit. And now they're saying, well, it's been 4 years. You didn't do anything back then. How dare you do something now, as though you weren't the reason why they didn't stop doing it. And then the other defense, that's my favorite defense, okay? My favorite defense is like, well, there's all these other things that he did that you didn't care about. It's like, bro, at this point, Donald Trump's like wanton corruption, they're using it like it's a defense mechanism. They're saying like, well, he did a lot of fucking illegal shit and you didn't talk about any of that. It's like, that's not a defense, dog. That's not how that works, brother. That's not. Like, what do you mean? You violate the fucking law, okay? And you get punished for it. That's how it works. That's how it works for the everyday man, the average Joe. That's how it should work for Donald Trump as well. Now, you know, obviously, one of the things I got to talk about here is how much the right is, chirping in unison and going crazy, okay? But the other thing I got to talk about is how little the left has been pushing for this. Now, do I think personally that this is like trumped up charges? Do I think that this is personally the weakest thing that you could nab him on? Yeah, I do. But if I was a Democratic Party operative, I would never say that. If I was a Democratic Party operative, I would do exactly what Republicans do all the time. Why do we give you money? What the fuck is the purpose for us to vote for you? Not me, myself included, but like, people that do. Why? Is it so you can sit there and not fucking weaponize something like this against Donald Trump and the Republican Party? If I was a Democratic Party operative right now, what would I be doing? I'd be screaming from the mountaintops that Donald Trump is so far removed from the everyday common person that like he thinks he can not only get away and ruin the rule of law despite running on the rule of law, claiming that he is doing this for the rule of law, that he very much believes that he's above the law, and the same Republican Party is defending that. Is it okay? If we were to, I would literally do focus groups and figure out exactly what is the most targeted, most effective messaging where you could just talk about the actual crime that Donald Trump did, the actual crime that Donald Trump engaged in, using campaign funds, utilizing campaign funds to pay hush money to a porn star, and ask individually in focus groups whether or not that is an appropriate thing to do, and figure out what the best, most effective way to propagandize against that position is, and then go off from the fucking mountaintops, constantly talking about like, wow, it sure seems like a lot of people are thinking that it's okay to take money from your campaign coffers and pay a porn star hush money to the tune of millions? You think that's appropriate? Sir, so much for the moral party, so much for family values. Explain to me where the family values are. I, for one, am shocked. This is disqualifying. I haven't heard any of this shit. What the fuck's going on? Maybe it's because Democrats are not doing that because they realize, just like we do, that, oh, it wasn't $1 million. Sorry, it was 100,000. But maybe they're doing that, one, because they don't give a shit, or two, because they are they're worn out. They got nothing. They're fucking worn out. And they know that it's not going to do anything for them. You know?
Happened. Yeah. Thanks so much, Dan.
Okay.
Please don't let this be true. All right. The Trump Clown Show. See key witness scorch Trump's allies' testimony.
By former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen. He hosts the Mea Culpa podcast. He's the author of...
Okay, now we got to play the Mea Culpa podcast banger before...
This is my mea culpa. Oh, baby, don't lie for me. If I tell you my story, don't cry for me. I did my time, that's fine by me. This is my...
Bro, what did he hire the fucking Sopranos intro music guy? Like, what the fuck's happening? It's crazy. I was on this podcast and I didn't even fucking know that this theme music was, I was on this podcast. For those of you who don't know, Michael Cohen is a former friend of the show, maybe current friend of the show. Who knows? I've been on his podcast.
This is Michael Cohen, and you're listening to a special broadcast of the Mea Culpa podcast. Well, folks, it's all finally happening. For the first time in our nation's history, an American president is about to go down for paying hush money to a porn star. So booyah!
None of this is a satire. This is real, bro. He literally is he is this guy. You'll hear him now.
Of the book, Revenge, How Donald Trump Weaponized the U.S. You have been in the news a lot. Thank you for being here on The Beat tonight.
It's always good to see you, Ari.
You went down there today. Did you testify?
I did not. I was asked to be a potential rebuttal witness. The prosecutors determined that my rebuttal was not necessary, and so I was released.
Not necessary today, according to them. Mr. Costello said several things. I'll start with a fairly narrow one.
He sure did. He said a lot of things today.
As a narrow matter, he asserted that he says you are testifying again on Wednesday. Is that true?
Okay, so very much like most of everything that came out of his mouth, he lacks for any sense of veracity here. There's no accuracy to his statement. I have not been asked to come back on Wednesday. And moreover, something that you would know as well. The prosecutors will not tell you if you are or you're not coming back. They just don't do that. They'll let you know at the last moment or at least the day before. So how he has this specific information just goes to show you he is exactly who he is. And that, of course, would be Rudy Giuliani's attorney.
Yeah, and in this process, and I've reminded viewers, there is a...
It's wild that, like, shit that the public should not know, Donald Trump is already aware of, and is, like, openly telling to the rest of the public. Like, these are... Like, a grand jury indictment is supposed to be, like, a private affair. Because you don't want the grand jury to, like, feel pressured from the motherfucking person that they're indicting. And that is precisely what Donald Trump did, by the way. Remember when everyone was saying, oh, I can't believe Derek Chauvin, who is definitely a murderer, by the way, and is in prison now, was being, you know, the jury was being pressured by the media constantly covering this high-profile case, right? Like, that's witness tampering. That's, destroying the fucking actual, the veracity of the court. That's destroying the fucking actual sanctity of the court, whatever, right? Meanwhile, this kind of like actual fucking jury tampering is completely allowed because it's the president doing it, and there's nothing you can do on that.
Possibility for someone who may be facing indictment to ask for people to go forward. So that may be the way that we're hearing from him. Do you know about any future testimony from yourself, him, or any other witnesses? Or at this point, you're just on standby?
Right. So again, I wouldn't know about anybody else. Throughout this entire process, I didn't know who was coming in, nor would the prosecutors tell you.
Yeah.
I can tell you emphatically that I have not been asked to come back on Wednesday.
Okay.
As of this moment.
When he says he was speaking with you and advising you, was he your lawyer at the time?
No. In fact, there's so many things about his statement which is untrue. First and foremost, that I reached out to them. I didn't know Bob Costello from a hole in the wall. In fact, the senior partner of the firm, Jeffrey Citron, is the one who introduced us and said, we should speak. And so we set up a meeting. They came, I think either they brought me a retainer, or they said they were sending one, or a letter of engagement. I never signed it. He was never my lawyer.
So he was not at that time your authorized lawyer. Then he says separately, you did, he says, waive attorney-client privilege. Is that true?
That's another one. If in fact that I waived attorney-client privilege, I'd like to know when, how, where. I don't recall waiving anything, but again, this is I don't know what he's talking about.
Did you sign anything when you were dealing with SDNY like that?
Not that I recall, no.
All right, let's play this part.
Yeah.
This is, and by the way, he's got his point. You get to respond. Let me play it, then you'll respond. Because he says, oh, this was, quote, stupid, etc. Let's listen.
They notified me that Michael Cohen had executed a waiver of the attorney-client privilege for reasons I have no idea. Frankly, it was a very stupid move by Michael Cohen, because now we're able to tell the truth about what Michael Cohen was saying at any point in time starting in April of 2018.
Dude, this is like liberal media react meta. Yeah. Is Cohen a leftist? Why did you go on his pod? I go on people who I disagree with all the time, and it was for the memes for the most part. I thought it was like funny.
So that's why I wanted to get those materials that I gave to the U.S. Attorney's Office and sat for a 2-hour interview with them back in 2019, after which, you may have noticed, the Southern District of New York didn't do any business with Michael Cohen. There's a reason for that. He's totally unreliable.
You get the benefit of responding.
Yeah, so the reason the Southern District of New York didn't do anything with me is because of, just read Jeffrey Berman's book, and you already know the answer, that they were being pressured by Maine justice within which to do things. Bob Costello, if he was any more imaginary in the statements that are coming out of his mouth, he'd be a #1 New York Times best-selling fiction author. I don't know what he's talking about in terms of signing anything with the Southern District of New York. I'd like to see it. Now, if in fact that there was something that was signed, perfect. I will own the fact that I'm making a mistake, but I don't recall
But you don't
signing
remember
any.
that.
I do not. Not to mention, let's not forget, the Southern District on a Friday night contacted, after meeting with my lawyer at the time, not him, he was never my lawyer, and told me that you have to come in on Monday and plead guilty, or we're filing an 80-page indictment that's going to include my wife. So I don't know when he's talking about this meeting that I had with the Southern District of New York. I would like to know the answer.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, and this is something that, again, is worth responding to once. We're not going to be airing it over and over. But you and I know, as lawyers and the experience you've been in, there are people who face very serious pressure. That's why it's called pressure. And whether what they say under pressure is 100% true forever, or a sense of their anxiety, I don't know. Here's what he said about that, because you're reminding folks that there was this idea that they were going to try to go after you and your family, et cetera. Here's what he said, and it includes, again, and I want to say this as respectfully as possible, because there are people who do have mental health challenges, or they do talk about suicide. That alone doesn't mean you're not reliable in a case. But this is the allegation he makes.
April of 2018, April 17th, I believe, we met with Michael Cohen for the first time at the Regency Hotel at his request. Michael was in a manic state. He told us that he had contemplated suicide, that he had been up on the roof of the Regency.
Okay, I got to say something here. Like, I mean, one, this guy is cooking Michael Cohen. And Michael Cohen himself is really not reacting that hard. Like, not to be a guy who says, like, maybe react a little harder, forehead, but, like, honestly, react harder, Michael Cohen. Like, what the fuck's going on? What is this? What is this? I mean, there's an art to this. MSNBC is trying to do what I do, okay? And quite frankly, it's not working, okay? There's an art to what this is, okay? A lot of people don't understand the work we put in. Like, for example, sneaking in an order for a sweet green salad in between the MSNBC clip. You know what I mean? This is not easy. Not everyone can do it. But I can. There's an art to running the top of the hour ad break in between moments and pausing and acting like you didn't actually forget and that you were reminded by glancing over at the chat. But still, it doesn't matter. Fuck you. That still debated you regardless. And now everyone is going to say 3 out of 10. But it doesn't matter because we all know in your heart of hearts that it was a 9 out of 10. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can serve the top of the hour ad break and then tell you that if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime, while simultaneously logging my calories in from last night because unfortunately Chipotle was closed by then. So I had to order Chick-fil-A. Homophobic chicken. That's right. I had that. I fucking had that shit, dude. Straight up. I'll say it. I'll admit it. I had some homophobic ass chicken last night and quite frankly, God. Want to know where I had that homophobic chicken? In the motherfucking bathtub, sitting in Epsom salt. Sauce, Chick-fil-A and Polynesian, you know it. Very confused MB, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. Infinite Ryman, not Infantryman. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads as well. Yeah. Oh. Chicken in the bathtub is slutty. I am the biggest slut.
Hotel the weekend before, seriously considering jumping off because he couldn't face the enormity of the legal problems he knew were coming his way.
Is that true?
Well, parts of that are
Replay
actually
it
true.
back.
I was incredibly distraught. Remember, I have never in my life had an issue with law enforcement. Actually, one time in 1985, I was driving back to college. I was going 13, 14 miles an hour over the speed limit, and I got a speeding ticket, the one and only in my entire life. Other than that, I've never had run-ins with law enforcement.
Yes, so let me put it like this. I mean, it almost seems like in that pressure, you shared or confided in Mr. Costello.
Yeah,
and now he's trying to say that because you were stressed.
Bro, this is literally like Twitch streamer drama, but like with actual legal consequences, like legal implications, and related to the fucking president. I'm like losing my mind. Michael Cohen is like, Michael Cohen is like saying like, you're leaking the DMs. I confided in you when I felt in my weakest moment. That doesn't make me a bad fucking witness in this situation. That doesn't make me a bad character witness. That also is really fucked up. And not only that, but also, can you give facts for once? Like, can you, instead of, claiming that I did something, can you show me the proof of where I actually waived my attorney-client privilege? So that, and the other guy's like, no.
And I think we can all, everyone could, judge not lest you be judged first, but people get stressed out. He seems to be trying to use that against the rest of your story. Is that fair?
No, it's not. In fact, it's a typical Donald J. Trump play out of the playbook. Figure out how you're going to muddy the water as best as you possibly can. Denigrate the person, disparage them. They did the same thing to Cassidy Hutchinson. They did the same thing to anyone and everyone that is for the truth. And the beauty that I have is I have facts. I have truth. I have the documentation. Let me rephrase that. The district attorney has the documentation in order to validate every single statement that I've made and to basically dispel anything that Bob Costello has to say, which is probably, again, why they didn't need me for rebuttal.
My last question on Mr. Costello's approach, and then I have another factual piece. When you watch that, what does it make you think of him?
Well, I think he's a clown, which is exactly why after the repeated attempts to get on my legal team or to be my attorney, which of course is all directed by Rudy and those that be there in Washington, D.C. at the time, I had no interest. And there's even statements of me hanging up on him, and we had some arguments on the phone where I want to be left alone by you.
So you think Mr. Giuliani and others may have been trying to use him to play like he was on your side and then use that against you, which seems like part of what he's doing today.
Yes. It seems like it to me, too.
Yeah, and by the way, I'll mention, and you know how we are around here, Mr. Costello's invited on. And if he wants to come to the table and speak the way you have.
And so he should.
I've invited him on that. Here's the factual claim he makes. Maybe factual, maybe not. But he, like Mr. Tacopina, argues that basically you were out here just doing.
This part is so boring. Like, I don't understand. Okay, let's watch this. All right, let's get to the fucking content, baby. Let's get to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Donald Trump. Okay? Settle your fucking Discord call beef in the Discord, okay? Maybe do it in front of a public audience. Maybe do it in front of a live audience. Ari literally is over here acting like XQC, being like, come on, dude. Do it on stream, dude. That's what he's saying, okay? I'm going to keep using a lot of like XQC Trainwrecks analogies, I think, today. This is working in my favor. My man is glistening. He looks so orange. What the fuck happened, dude? Holy shit. Let's take a look.
These 4 horrible, radical left Democrat investigations of your all-time favorite president, me, is just a continuation of the most disgusting witch hunt in the history of our country. It's gone on forever with Russia, 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 and Ukraine, 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 and the Mueller hoax. It's an absolute disgrace what's going on. They even spied on my campaign. And remember this, with all of the work that they did on Mueller, no collusion. That's what the answer was all no collusion. Whether it's the Mar-a-Lago raid or the Unselect Committee hoax, the perfect Georgia phone call, it was absolutely perfect, or the Stormy Horseface Daniels extortion plot.
Wait. Stormy Horseface Daniels? Like, I don't get it. Like, you fucked her, right? Wait, that's like a self-own, isn't it? No, like, I don't understand. Wait, what? Yes, folks. I ride horses, and I pay money to fuck someone I now call Horseface. I fuck the horsiest of faces. What does that mean? Ain't no way she gave Trump a buccal fat removal. What the fuck? Bro, this is unleashed, dude. This is insane. This is so unhinged. The most unhinged thing ever. When they make Trump sexy like that, it blows my fucking mind. Like,
They're all sick, and it's fake news. Our enemies are desperate to stop us because they know that we are the only ones who can stop them, and they know it very strongly. And they're looking at the polls where, not me, but we are up by so much. They can't even believe it.
Holy fuck. All right, that was loud. All right, it's time. I miss him so much. Yeah, I mean, me too, man. Me too, me too, me too. Fuck. How many times do you think he tried to read the teleprompter for that video? I don't know. He looked like he lost a lot of weight and kind of hot. Oh my God, you are so horny for Trump. You motherfuckers are hornier for Trump than I am, dude. Holy shit. You said he looked kind of hot? That's wild, brother. That's like, you should have kept that in the drafts. You know what I mean? See, this is one of those moments where like there's on the one hand, you know, on the one hand, got a bussy, but on the other hand, you don't have to go overboard.
You want just like your name, your age, and weight? Yeah. Okay, you want my name? Yeah.
Who the fuck did Daily Mail hire to do this interview? They found the most Staten Island guy. Look at it. Hey, give me your fucking name and age over here.
You want just like your name, your age, and weight? Yeah. Okay, you want my name? Yeah. Jeffrey. With a J? Jeffrey. Yeah. Shinko.
Hey, what's your fucking name? Give me your fucking name. I'm going to do a fucking interview over here. Fuck off. Dude. Give me your fucking name, dude. I'm here for the Daily fucking Mail.
Shinko. And your age? It's 63. Okay. So, how come you're here today?
Hey, well,
Wait, never mind. He's actually British? Wait, what?
I'm the greatest president we ever had. You know, I mean, the guy, he made a fool out of the whole Democratic Party, the Republican Party. He came in 2 years, turned the country around. Okay, like he made a fool out of everyone, all the politicians that's been in politics for 20, 30, 40 years, and this guy came in 2 years and turned the country around. Okay, he made everybody get out of debt. Everybody had a savings account. Everybody got their credit scores up. He created the greatest economy ever, in the country. So everybody was doing good. So I'm 63 years old now. I never voted at all in my life. This was the very first guy I ever voted for, because when I was younger, my father said politicians are nothing but liars and crooks, which they are, and I never voted for any of them. This guy wasn't a politician. He was the very first guy I ever voted for, and I made the right decision.
So, what state are you from?
I'm originally from the Lower East Side here in Manhattan, but I live in Pennsylvania right now.
And how do you feel that this is going on in your backyard?
Oh, it's going great in my backyard. Listen, everybody's conservative where I'm at. Believe me, in Pennsylvania, they rigged the election in Pennsylvania. It was such a disgrace what happened there. You have to go back to election day, not election week, because election week was going on in Pennsylvania. Okay, they waited until Saturday to declare who won Pennsylvania, really? When they were funneling in all these friggin' mail-in ballots? Come on.
So what do you think about the rumors that he will be indicted tomorrow?
I'm not even worried about it. I'm looking like this is the third time with the Stormy Daniels thing. Okay, like for instance, her lawyer is in prison right now for 20 years, and she had to pay Trump money already, and this is the third time. So you know what? I'm not even worried about it. I just think it's just going to make him stronger.
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. The one thing that I and many others were afraid of in the Trump camp, because we are firmly in the Trump camp, okay, let's be real, was that the protests for Donald Trump, to defend Donald Trump from the unjustifiable corrupt DA, were going to be tiny. Like, what would happen if Trump actually was to be indicted and then people wouldn't show up? And it kind of feels like that's what's going on. And that's a little awkward, okay? That's a little awkward. I mean, I don't know where Trump goes from here. I don't know where Trump goes from here and how he turns this into a fucking situation. Like, he has to fucking rile them up somehow. Doesn't seem like Truth Social posts are doing it. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene literally said, hey, actually, you perhaps maybe shouldn't protest. Don't do that.
The only...
Oh, they got on... Oh, the good liars got on the Trump RBSN. Oh, I love that.
Hey, Truth's supposed to go a lot farther.
I mean, it literally feels like a little bit of fucking legal scrutiny for the January 6th protesters basically shut the petty bourgeois, okay? The fucking petite bourgeois small business owners, it shut them down so quick. But they are petty too. All of the fucking HVAC business owners, from Florida did not fly anywhere. What is happening? I thought there was going to be a Patriot moat. Where are the jet ski dealership owners? It's not like they arrested everyone during January 6th. That's crazy. I have never seen an instance where like, a little bit of legal scrutiny truly does stop further crime from happening. They're working. You think Trump supporters work? Yeah, working is in fucking, he said 400,000 votes in the middle of the night. Yeah. Yeah, Trump supporters famously, were they working on January 6th? No. I'm an HVAC. Don't lump us all together. Brother, if you're an HVAC, you know better than anyone else the quintessential HVAC business owner, Andy, okay? Hogs didn't get pardoned, and it seems like people are upset. People are scared.
One thing. Name one back thing. What do you build? What do you build? Over here. Build back.
So wait, why do you always mention HVAC specialists? Is there like a big group of HVAC Trump supporters? No, it's a fun thing to say. No, it's just mostly because it's funny.
They talk a lot, they don't do a lot.
A white supremacist.
Here, before we get to this, let's hear it, because there's more fucking like anti-Trump protesters at that courthouse than there were actually Trump protesters, from what I understand, pro-Trump protesters. But here is another Trump supporter chirping on Twitter, because that's like the only support that they're lending to Trump, it seems. Kind of fell off, I'm afraid to report. Very embarrassing. Not a good showing for Donald Trump, I will say. President Trump will be arrested during Lent, a time of suffering and purification for the followers of Jesus Christ. As Christ was crucified and then rose again on the third day, so too will Donald Trump. Violence is never the answer. Winning the election is. Vote for Trump. Even this guy's saying, like, you know, vote for Trump. Just vote. Just vote. Just vote. Just vote. It's like the Democratic Party being like, come on, just vote for us one more time and we'll fix things. Meanwhile, none of the fucking deep state pedophiles have been arrested. You know what I mean? Donald Trump is getting legal scrutiny. It's just like, it does feel as though, the Patriots are not waking up. I think they're going back to a lovely, wonderful, comfortable little slumber, it seems. That's what it looks like to me, at least. Okay? That's what it feels like to me. Hillary Clinton is not in jail. And the Patriots are falling asleep.
We're better than that. We all are better than that. I think people here know it. And you've been following this president, this man who's a fake president. You've seen.
Yeah, look at that. These are more like, these are fucking anti-Trump people.
Your stories, the things that you've written.
From New York?
Trump lies all the time. I am, yes.
You're from New York. How about you, Bill?
No, I'm from Washington, D.C., but I go way back. The NPR reporter found me sitting outside the courtroom waiting for Manafort to come in to try to get his ankle bracelet off, first time. And she asked me, how long have you been waiting? I looked up and I said, 3 decades. Because I started out working on human rights in the Philippines. Manafort worked for a dictator called
Free speech, for our right to assemble and our right to language and free speech. And you're at the forefront of that. Know when you're lying to them. Kids know when adults are not telling the truth. And then they become liars. And then they don't know what to do. They get confused by us.
Folks, you need to keep this place good. Sir, you clear pit.
Oh, you guys sit down? Just get me the fuck out of here, will you? Somebody bring me to Trump Tower. Yeah, I know. I'm literally getting it. Excuse me, why did you pick that spot? Well,
Hey guys, how's it going? Gavin Waxy with the New York Young Republican Club. This went a little differently than planned. We thought there were going to be no press, but here we are, so we'll just make it work. It's going to be a mini presser. Many people are asking why we're here today. We threw this together last minute, the last 24 hours. We were very on the fence about doing this. We weren't sure if we even wanted to come out because obviously some people don't like us. But we are here to show that there is support for President Trump in the bluest area in the country, here in Manhattan, right outside
Not
the courthouse
really.
where he may be arraigned.
Not
so we're
really.
very happy
Doesn't
to be
seem
here
like
to show our
it.
support and show that this is a politicized prosecution and persecution without any merit. We believe that the fact patterns that they've presented, or that have been leaked rather, are without merit, and many federal prosecutors have chosen not to prosecute this. His predecessor in this very jurisdiction chose not to prosecute this, and now where he's rising in the polls, both in the primary and the general, now they're choosing to do this. For us, the issue is clear. It's politicized. It is a politicized prosecution, and this is a disgrace to our country, to our judicial system, to our legal system, that the leader of the opposition, the presumptive nominee for president, will be prosecuted, will be put in handcuffs, will be dragged in front of a court for a novel legal theory that's never been tested. So we really think that this is a disgusting shame, especially out of an office that has refused to prosecute violent criminals, refused to prosecute lifelong offenders, crime, rapists, assault, murder. Crime has been going up, and now this is what he's choosing to do.
I mean, dude, they're so good at saying the exact same talking points, like in unison. You have to admit they're fucking great at that. Like, it's like, oh, dude, by the way, there's other crimes happening. I don't know if you know this. It's like, wow, really? Okay, so what should we do? Should we not cover this crime then? Okay, got it. Is that your argument? Great argument, dude. Like, what the fuck do you mean, dude? Wait. Oh, wow, there's other crimes happening. It's crazy. Yeah, is that what they're doing? They're just like refusing to prosecute other crimes? No. Shut the fuck up. But the one solace here, I guess, even though I wanted to see more hog chirping, the one solace, maybe if you're into that sort of thing, is the fact that, like, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of support out there. Like, I know Kevin McCarthy and the National Republican Party is like firing off on all cylinders, running defense for Donald Trump, as they're expected to do every single fucking time. They're doing all that. But, like, beyond that, there isn't much momentum on the streets. What's happening?
So we think it's absolutely disgusting, and it's a total indictment, not on Trump, but on Alvin Bragg's office.
Could you spell your last name, please?
Wax, W-A-X, who owe their political, career to Trump. They would have been nothing without him, and they've been completely seeing the president come down here in
Big
handcuffs.
friends.
They're all quiet. They're still talking about St. Patrick's Day and whatever else. So,
Big friends in the Republican Party.
You
Rhino.
guys all know this, if you go deep and inward, that our country and our city was in a much better place when Donald Trump was the president.
I can't believe he's dressed like a rat. Look at it. Look at the It's crazy.
We only vetted everyone one by one, so we sacrifice size for peace of mind. It ended up being more of a press conference, but we're happy with that.
It's your personal thing, right? One is the president.
And there's no prosecution, nothing. He's still the president. Such a joke. And then President Trump, they go after him for impeachment, for Russia scandal, for Russia, and for Ukraine, and for this and that. It's all over. Okay. If you arrest him, he will win in a landslide.
Dude, this is my favorite take. I've heard this a lot. if that's the case, why are you protesting him being arrested? Do you not want him to be president again? You want him to be president again. If he's going to win in a landslide, if you arrest him, then fucking don't protest him getting arrested.
Someone, that's a bad habit.
Right now it's cool. It's just when we're nighttime. No, you forget.
Bro. These hawks are terrible. These hogs are... They can't even find like good schizo hogs. Sad. There's like... Their numbers are dwindling. They got terrible form. They fucking fell off. There's more protesters against the hogs than there are hogs.
You have to receive the right education. Maybe, like great. The basic fundamental value, Christian value, family value, for years, it's hard. But I suggest them to watch conservative.
No. Oh, yeah. Okay. You can get my drink like Irish version I can. And we're here to make sure.
I wanted to make something different. For yesterday, but it didn't arrive. Yeah, the teaching was there.
I think. Oh yeah, I think it's going to be the pivotal, defining moment of our generation. I mean, a mugshot of the president coming out. I mean, this has never happened before. This is unprecedented.
Dude, I love like young New York right wingers. It's like, bro, every finance bro already shares your fucking opinion for the most part. Okay, you don't have to like go out and be the guy who openly gets clowned on. You know what I mean? But they still choose to do so, which I think is fucking awesome.
Precedented. I mean, it would be an iconic photo to be sure, and I definitely think it's going to send some uneasiness among many people, not just Republicans, but Democrats, centrists.
Were you here yesterday? No.
He's the single most resilient person I've ever met. I'm lucky to call him a friend. He was an amazing former president, and he'll be an amazing future president.
Oh, this was pretty funny. Brace got fucking clapped. Always rat up at the function. Okay, he took this photo. Huffington Post, a man wearing an ATF hat, a presumed child, told HuffPost he didn't expect the January 6th style reaction to Trump's potential indictment. The prosecutions for the riot that day freaked a lot of people out, he said. But the man added, I would love to see what happens. I told the guy the truth. I had been at the Schwitz down the street since 3 p.m., got out and saw this Trump thing that was happening, so I walked over to look at the freak show. He thought I was doing some ironic thing with the hat, but I just told him I wear an ATF hat, lol, a lot. I was cagey if he asked if I supported Donald Trump because a man has the right to privacy at the ballot box. And then I was like, wait, but I can give you a quote. Donald Trump is just a squirrel trying to get a nut. That is the most Brace fucking thing, dude. What an incredible moment. Yeah. I mean, the fact that Huffington Post would look to literal journalist praise Belden with so much disdain and just call him a right-winger is silly. Everyone knows he is a centrist liberal journalist. Also, yeah, beard in the back. This is crazy. That is wild, dude. I love that.
The amount of attacks this man goes under every day, and he conducts himself with dignity and has continued to press on. He's got a family. He's got a 16-year-old kid that people forget about. It's amazing how resilient he is, and I'm very proud to know.
He's got a kid, dude. He can't go to jail. Aren't these the fuckers who say if you can't do the time, you can't, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime? What's up? Where is that about? Where is that in this regard? One thing about a 16-year-old kid when he was fucking Stormy Daniels and like paying hush money from campaign funds, right? I love Back in the Blue. Back it up all the way, baby.
I think it's just another witch hunt that's not going to result in anything good for the Democrats in the long run. The end result of this is going to be Trump's polls going higher and more support in the long run. I think that it's ridiculous that we have another witch hunt. I mean, they've been attacking the president for about 7 years now, and it's been a failed attempt over and over and over. They've spent millions of U.S. tax dollars coming after him instead of working with him to help our country, and I think it's ridiculous, but like I said, it's benefiting Trump in the long run because people see this and they know what a great president he is, and they're sick of it, and they're ready to get Trump back in office.
What makes you...
I've been supporting him for pushing 8 years now, but not doing this. I believe.
Now this is my shit. Oh man, they grow them different down in Florida, okay? They grow them different down there. Whole different breed. Why are you so dripped out today? Jacket is going nuts. Dog, he's dripped out. My political allies are dripped out. I too need to be dripped out. My king, my God, might potentially go to prison. Are you kidding me? I must also be ready to body block the police force from arresting my leader. All he has done is cut taxes for me. Well, technically, when I say that, it is true. He did cut my taxes. But imagine if I was a poor guy instead, and I was saying that. And then the juxtaposition would be funny. But, like, he literally did cut my taxes, actually. So there is truth to that. But those guys, their taxes didn't get cut. They're fucking stupid. Anyway. T-Pain just watched you saying it, and you're not changing his mind after this? Okay, guys, you got to stop mentioning T-Pain every time I do a fucking parody, okay?
Believe in him. He did a lot for this country. He's not done. He can do it again. We're not protesting. We're supporting, and we're going to keep it up. He's our president. Maybe in 4 years, we'd all be behind him. But most everybody I know that's for a Trump supporter is not happy. And with his comments yesterday, oh, that was wrong what they're doing. But I don't know about prostitutes and porno. I mean, that was a low slam. Trump can get away with that. He's not Trump. And he's never going to be. He's using Trump's playbook. I love our governor, but Trump's our man.
What? She's just mad that, like, bro. She's upset at Ron DeSantis for doing a snide remark against Trump, but not upset at Trump, like, doing the thing. Okay? Why can't Trump fuck my horse face? Yeah, she's wearing an Ashley Babbitt patch. Dude, I love that. Pretty privileged Trump shaking my head. Yes! Trump's got pretty privilege!
Lord, we stand here peacefully supporting. We are not out here protesting anything. We are not out here picketing anything. We are out here standing in your name. Life that has been created. It came through the mother. Every life that has come into existence has come through the.
So what it means for me to stand with President Trump as an American. He loves this country and I love this country. I was born and raised right here in Florida. I'm a true Floridian. So to have someone that truly loves this nation, loves this country, and has done so much as a father's heart, it's just amazing.
God, I love them, dude. I love them so much.
We're joined now by someone with an intimate knowledge of how things work inside the Manhattan District Attorney's office, and that is Jeremy Salan. He worked as...
Bro, I swear to God, like, the CNN coverage of this shit is so boring. Like, it's just so incredibly fucking boring, dude. Like, they're just like, this is the reason why they have to do it. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, just, dude, just put the fucking camera on the most psychotic right-wingers you can find, and let's just watch it. Like, I don't care about the real situation at hand. Okay? Yeah, Trump did, like, hundreds of fucking crimes. Okay? He does more crime from the moment that you wake up and get out of bed. Before you get out of bed, Trump has already done multiple crimes. Okay? He's doing crime all the time. That's kind of his shtick. As a matter of fact, he's so open about the crimes that, like, people literally defend him on it. He's like, at least he's just, you know, at least he's honestly dishonest, right? That sort of thing. Right? And here at the HasanAbi broadcast, we love crime. We are big fans of it. Okay? Part of the reason why we're big fans of Donald Trump. So, I just want to see funny shit. I don't care about, like, a guy who worked in the fucking Manhattan district attorney's office and how, like, the intricacies of whatever. Yeah, here's my mind. I've made up my mind on this. I talked about it already. Do I think it's fucking a marginal thing to hit Trump on? Absolutely. Why? Because in the overall grand scheme of things, Trump has done so much worse shit. Will I still celebrate it if he goes and gets arrested? Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay? Absolutely. It's awesome. It's funny as fuck. Stop, like, getting into the dumb, like, weeds of things and the drama and whatnot. I don't even think this has, like, this doesn't have informational purpose. It certainly doesn't have any educational value, but it doesn't have any, like, informational purpose either. Like, it serves no purpose.
Assistant district attorney in Manhattan for 7 years before current DA Alvin Bragg's tenure. So happy. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. So listen, we heard yesterday from Mr. Costello. We heard from Mr. Cohen as well. Michael Cohen was expected to go in yesterday to rebut what Costello said, but prosecutors determined somehow it wasn't necessary. Does this speak to anything that we should be looking forward to in the future, that possibly what Costello actually had to say didn't affect what Alvin Bragg and his investigators believe about this investigation?
Well, the grand jury has the right to call a witness. So they very well say, today we want to hear from Michael Cohen or hear from another witness. They have that ability to call for whatever testimony they think is important.
Yeah. I want to play this. This is what Costello had to say about Michael Cohen after testifying yesterday. Watch this.
The only thing I'm doing is trying to tell the truth to the grand jurors. Listen, if they want to go after Donald Trump and they have solid evidence, so be it. But Michael Cohen is far from solid evidence. This guy, by any prosecutor's standard, and I used to be deputy chief of the criminal division in the Southern District of New York, I wouldn't have touched a guy like Michael Cohen, especially if he's a convicted perjurer.
Listen, Michael Cohen did plead guilty, right? Went to jail. But also, Robert Costello has credibility issues as well. He's mentioned in the Mueller report his role in this whole hush money investigation and cover-up as well. He has credibility issues. So why on earth would they call him to testify?
Everyone's going to have credibility issues sort of when you're in this arena. There's a term swamp that's been thrown around, but if you're going to get evidence against those who are involved in these allegations, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to find a choir boy. You're going to find somebody who's immersed in it, and those people, unfortunately, may have some baggage.
Yeah. So we've heard from, at least the reporting is that Stormy Daniels, right, has appeared before the grand jury, at least by Zoom. Not sure if there's testimony, but saying that she would be available, she and her attorneys, that she would be available. We've heard from Michael Cohen. We've heard from Robert Costello and others. This appears to be wrapping up. Everyone wants to know when it's going to happen. What is the timeline? Is it going to be today? Is it tomorrow? Is it next week? Having worked in the DA's office, is it possible to put a date or a time on that?
Within reason, there is. This is an ongoing investigation. It's not a reactive investigation. It's proactive. So the DA's office should really know at this point, and in fact, well before, who's going to testify and what, if anything, is going to happen to throw that off course. So I'd expect that they should be summing up or wrapping up soon. And then once that happens, it becomes a procedural issue. The indictment is filed, and ultimately they reach.
You okay? I want Democrats to be slimy. I want Democrats to be gross. I want Democrats to behave like Republicans. Does that mean that they're going to do anything like that materially benefits working class people? Of course not. But at least it'll make it a little bit more fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm a Democrat, I'm behaving exactly how the Republicans did. Non-fucking stop. Non-fucking stop. You know what I mean? Like, remember what they did with like Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham himself. He was a part of the fucking Bill Clinton impeachment, you know? Bill Clinton cop dome in the White House. That's like unacceptable. All this shit. Like, come on. Behave like that. Look at like every single instance where like Republicans have manufactured outrage and just like do the same thing.
Reach out to the team for.
Also, if Donald Trump goes to prison, he has to tweet. Okay? That is my only like one rule that I'm putting on it, okay? If he goes to prison, he has to always tweet. Like Andrew Tate, you know, he's always like, in the darkness have I found the light. I'm fighting ghosts. I'm shadow boxing. You know, that sort of thing. Like, I want Donald Trump to do that from prison. It would be so sick, I think. Like, that would be so much content. Because at this point, it's like, it's just about content. I'm in it for the content.
For Trump to take those next steps.
You say wrapping up soon. So what are the considerations now? If you're looking at someone who has insider knowledge, if you're looking at what is playing out, seeing Costello and Cohen, et cetera, go in, what is happening inside of the office right now?
I expect that all the evidence that they've wanted to present, they meaning the district attorney's office, has been presented. And if anything, for lack of a term, rebuttal or to clarify or to bolster, if that's the right term we want to use here, the credibility or what may have happened, that's going to come out now. But again, it's the grand jury's determination to decide what witnesses, if anything, they want to hear. But once that's wrapped up, the DA's office is ready to take those next steps.
Jeremy, is it the grand jury's determination? Because the grand jury vote to indict Donald Trump and then Alvin Bragg say, even with that, I'm not going to do it?
Once a grand jury indicts, or what's we call a true bill, they have to take that next step. Ultimately, the DA's office can decide what they want to do going forward, but once there's an indictment, it has to proceed.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This investigation has been called a zombie case. Everyone thought that after Cy Vance, that nothing was going to happen, nothing would happen for so long under the current DA, Alvin Bragg, nothing happened. So what happened? How is this resuscitated or resurrected?
Well, the argument from the DA's office is that it wasn't resuscitated. It's been going on all along. It's an ongoing investigation. These things don't happen overnight. It takes time to develop. There's those who will argue that there was political pressure with the Pomerantz book and what's happening sort of socially. But the DA's office will take the position that we've always been doing our due diligence. This is about justice. This isn't about politics. And now we're at the point where you have to move it forward.
Yeah, if you're looking at this, people are expecting, will Donald Trump be handcuffed? Are we going to see him in a jumpsuit and what have you? It doesn't really work that way, especially when you have a high-profile defendant. Unless he wants to be paraded in front of cameras, there are means and efforts to sort of mitigate that, possibly going in, probably through an underground entrance and having this sort of expedited about him. My reporting is seeing a judge and doing it quickly, having the process play out quickly so that he doesn't have to be photographed or seen doing any of these things.
Well, he shouldn't be photographed once he's inside the building. But
Bro, oh my God, please prep walk him. Dude, holy shit. Perp. I have something wrong with my brain. I said prep. I think it's because I didn't sleep enough last night with your mom. So like now, I just have something wrong with my brain. I'm like saying the wrong words over and over again. Did you see the AI generated perp walk images? Bro, I posted them on my Instagram.
But he'll be taken in like
except for a mugshot.
Well, that absolutely. He'll be taken in. There will be a mugshot. There'll be a fingerprint. And then they're going to expedite him and walk him to the courtroom. He'll have to walk down the hallway unless for some reason they decide to bring him up through the judicial areas. So there's a separate set of elevators he can come up through. But otherwise, he's going to be brought in like anybody else. And to your point, he may very well want to be seen. He very well want to make this an issue that there can be a public showing or display where he can make sort of a statement. But in court, I would expect he'd be relatively quiet, and his attorney will be doing most of the talking.
So you think they'll expedite the court process of seeing the judge part of it, right? Because that can take some time.
Yeah, it can take some time.
You say, like, come on, bro, I already stole those. Yeah, bro, some artificial intelligence generator worked really fucking hard on that, dude. And then I stole the meme. Who am I supposed to credit? A robot? Like, what am I supposed to do there?
Time, but they have to wait for the fingerprints. They, meaning law enforcement, has to wait for the fingerprints to get back. But yeah, it should move pretty quickly and efficiently. There's no reason to keep him there.
Steals Mid-Journey AI memes, by the way.
Obviously, the NYPD has.
Are we talking hours?
Hours from the time of print, very well, potentially. But once he's in front of the judge, that's pretty quick. I mean, I wouldn't say snap of the fingers, but it could be a matter of minutes.
Images from earlier today of barricades being erected near the courthouse where the grand jury investigated